ready for the next battle. Tekken 8! New Challenger!
Hello and welcome to the first video on the channel. My name's Ember.
And I'm Burni.
And today we thought we would bring you a beginner guide for Tekken 8. Our goal for the video is to create a guide that goes over all the basics of Tekken so that new players to the franchise can feel a bit more confident in a game that can be kind of difficult to learn. So on this channel, we'll be releasing lots of guide style and educational content for all things Tekken. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, then feel free to stick around. We also have our own Discord server, which we will put a link in the description for. It's very fun, super chill vibes. We'd love to have you there. We're just trying to build a community of really nice people who want to dedicate some time to learning Tekken 8. So if that's something you'd be interested in, come and hang out with us and click the link in the description. So without any further ado, let's get into the guide. Quickly before we begin, on the screen throughout the video, you will see the Tekken notation for controller inputs. Each input in Tekken is abbreviated to the first letter. So for example, down forward is shortened to DF. And then on the right side of the controller, you have your attack buttons. So in notation, these buttons are labeled as 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are your attack buttons. So speaking of attack buttons, Burni, did you want to tell us about those?
Yeah, so each attack button corresponds to each character's limb. 1 is for their left arm, 2 is for their right arm, 3 is for their left leg, and 4 is for their right leg. So a 1 jab, for example, is a left punch, and you can also combine the directional inputs with the attack buttons to create a variety of different attacks.
Yes, so we would definitely encourage you to, with whatever character you're looking to pick up in Tekken, experimenting and, you know, see what feels good and see what moves look the coolest. Oh, I won't say that actually. Yeah, moving on from there, we have the movement in Tekken, which Burni will tell you more about now.
So to start off with the most basic movement, we have forward and back movement. Tapping forward once will cause your character to move forward just a little bit. Holding forward will cause your character to shuffle forward towards your opponent. And tapping back won't really do too much, but holding back will cause your character to shuffle backwards. In terms of forward movement, you also have the option to run, and this can be done by either tapping forward 3 times in quick succession or double tapping forward and holding, and those are 2 ways where you can run.
Great. So as we know also, Tekken is a 3D fighting game, so this allows you to move from side to side. So did you want to tell us a bit more about sidestepping as well?
Yeah, so yes, we have sidestepping in Tekken. This can simply be done by pressing up or down. And then we also have side walking, which is performed by tapping up and holding or tapping down and holding.
I think that's everything for moving your character around. So another big important part of playing Tekken is blocking your opponent's attacks. So with blocking in Tekken, all your moves, in the most simple terms, will either hit you high, mid, or low. So to block high and mid attacks, you have a couple of options, which Burni will run through for you now.
Yeah, so you can press nothing and you will automatically block all highs and mids. However, this can be a little bit unreliable, and so I would recommend holding back when you want to block mids and highs. Tekken doesn't have a dedicated block button. Then if you want to block low attacks, you would have to first put your character in the crouching state by holding down back, then you will block all low attacks.
So in a future guide, we will go into a bit more detail on what to do if you don't block an attack and your character ends up on the floor. So moving on, we just want to go into some of the mechanics in Tekken 8, because with Tekken 8 came the introduction of the brand new heat system. What this brought with it is a whole host of new mechanics that actively encourages a more aggressive play style. So all players have access to heat from the start of every round, and then to activate heat you can perform heat engages. These inputs are specific to each character, but we will show you an example on screen now of a few different heat engages for Lily. So Burni, did you want to tell us a bit more about what you can do once you are in heat?
So once you are in heat, all your attacks become more lethal as they will all apply chip damage. You also have more tools at your disposal when you are in heat. For example, some moves will become enhanced and have bonus effects, such as being more advantageous on block or inflicting more chip damage. You also have heat dashes, which can be used to start combos while you're in heat. You have many more offensive tools available to you in heat.
He can be a scary tool, especially when you're a new player. So Rage isn't a new mechanic to Tekken. It was actually introduced in Tekken 6. So any returning players may be familiar with this mechanic already. But with Rage, it activates when a character's health reaches a certain percentage, which you can see in game by the small notch on your health bar. So when Rage activates, your damage will increase by a small amount. What this does is it gives you a lifeline to try and make a comeback by the end of the round. And in addition to this, your character can perform something called a Rage Art.
So this is a deadly attack that can steal back the round from your opponent if you time it well. It has built-in armor on the attack, so you can absorb your opponent's hits and still get this move off. So it's definitely something worth thinking about when you're in those later stages of the round.
Yes, indeed. I've seen many rounds clutch back with a Rage Art. It can be exciting to watch when somebody presses that Rage Art button, because sometimes you don't know how that's going to turn
Or it
out.
can be extremely frustrating, depending on which side of it you're on.
It can be extremely frustrating, yeah. Especially when you're both on low health at the end of the round. You're just kind of watching, like, watch my cutscene now. So moving on, recoverable damage. This is displayed in your health bar by the grey health. So all characters have specific powerful moves that apply chip damage, which takes the form of recoverable health. So like we were saying earlier, when you're in heat, all of your attacks do chip damage, for example. So I think that covers everything with the basics of Tekken for now. So thanks for watching. If you found this video guide useful, like we said at the beginning, we do have a Discord server. So if you do want to join and learn a bit more about Tekken, please do join us. We're building a community of players of all skill levels, passionate about in the spare time, learning the game and having fun while improving. Because I didn't discover this until recently, but one of the best ways to learn Tekken is learning from other Tekken players. Which Burni, thank you so much. my Tekken god that has been teaching me how to play. So in our next video, we'll be looking at covering Tekken at a more intermediate level. So if you're interested in learning more, things that we didn't cover in today's video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And with that, we will see you next time.
Bye.